Hello! Happy Thursday evening. I'm a little later tonight than I normally have been. I'm starting to kick myself for giving myself a challenge of 100 days. My original thought was 30 days. I'm on day 10. I could have seen the light at the end of the tunnel. But I got 90 more days to go. So I'm losing momentum. I'm losing some speed. I got to pick it up. So I thought tonight I wanted to talk about one of my favorite topics to talk about, something that is near and dear to my heart. I want to show you how to get a facelift, like almost instantly. One simple trick that can really make such a humongous difference. And it is my absolute favorite thing to do. I continue to play around with it. So what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about some brows. You know it. You know I love me some brows. Hey, Shannon. Thanks for joining. And thank you for the encouragement. I need the little push. 30 days would have been so much easier, but we should never settle for easy, right? We shouldn't settle for anything. We should go for challenging. So that's what I did. All right, let's talk about the power of brows, because you guys know how I feel about brows. They are so incredibly important and so powerful. Hey, Kevin, I'm not ignoring you. I promise. How are you? All right, you guys. So I started doing my brows, I don't know, maybe close to 3 years ago. So I'm continually trying to perfect my skill, and I like to try new things. So when I first started doing brows, you're excited. I'm so glad you're excited. I started off with shadow. And I really had no idea what I was doing. My main purpose was to just make them look a little fuller, because as we age, we start losing hair in our brows. And if you guys have followed me at all, the craziest thing has happened. You guys know that I had a very challenging brow. I basically had no tail at all on this brow. And look at, can you see that? I have hair growing again on this brow. It was gone forever. The only thing that I have been doing different is our skincare. And I think that's what's doing it. So I'm growing hair on my brows. So yay. That makes it a little bit easier to do your brows when you have some hair to work with. Okay, so I started off using shadow. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was using like a fluffy brush like this. So absolutely no precision. I was just dipping it in the shadow, and I was just filling in what I had. And when I started to learn more and more, I thought everything I saw was leaning towards pencils or gels or different things like that. Well, I am so grateful and so privileged that I get to be trained by professional makeup artists, celebrity professional makeup artists. And what I have learned is their go-to for brows when they are doing people's makeup, whether it is a TV personality, whether it is a movie star, whether it is the everyday woman that they are doing makeup on, they prefer shadows. And it's because it's just a pigment, it's just a color. We call them eyeshadows, but they can do so many different things. So they look more natural, and you have a little bit more precision when you're working with shadows. And with pencils and things like that, you're usually really limited in your color choices. It's usually like a light, medium, dark, or a blonde, brunette, black, or something like that. And that doesn't always fit everybody. So I have been using a pencil, a wax pencil that I really do like for over a year now. And so I started kind of getting back into the shadow, and I realized that my biggest problem was I wasn't working with the right tool. I mean, you have to have the right tool. So a brush like this is not going to work for your brows. Like, this is going to do nothing. And I think that's why I wasn't really loving the results I got. So I have a brow tamer brush. It has a comb, like a spoolie comb on one end, and a very thin angled pointer on the other end. And this works perfectly. So I am so used to using a pencil that I am still practicing a little, but it really does look more natural. And with this, you have just so much more precision. And the thing that I love about using pigments, I brought a lot of my browns out, is you can really match your colors so much better than when you're limited for the 3 choices of a brow pencil. So I have a couple of light browns here, which are going to be these two. Wait, let me look this way. Which are going to be these two, if you can see them. This almost looks yellowy from the sun, but it's really not, you guys. These are the 2 most popular brow colors that most people use. I'm not going to use those because I like my brow to be a little bit darker, a little bit bolder. I may look blonde. I'm brunette. I pay to be blonde. So I want them to match my roots. I want them to match my natural color. If you're blonde, you always are going to want to go up a shade. If you have really dark hair, most of the time you're going to go down a shade because you don't want that stark color on your face. So you guys, I am going to use this color right here, which looks really there. If I get a little closer, maybe you can see. And sometimes I also go in with brownie points, which is really dark. So I'm going to take this, and I always start, I'm just dipping it with it dry, and then I use setting spray as well. You'll make the color darker if you put it into setting spray. So here we go. And I'm going to line, this is just how I do my brows. I line the bottom of my brow. Thanks for the like, whoever. I love it when I see things flying across the screen. But I wasn't quick enough to see who it was. Okay, so I line the bottom. And then I kind of take my brush that already has the shadow on it, and I want to fill that in up there. Try to work with the very beginning of your brow last, because you want that to be the lightest part of your brow. I'm going to get a little bit more shadow here. All right, and then I'm going to go down the tail. So I have a very thin tail. I want to thicken it up a little bit. And this is usually where I have to start getting into, again, I'm going to line the bottom. Just following my natural hairline. I already have a pretty predominant arch naturally. So you can follow it however your arches go for a natural look. If you want to change it up a little bit, you can certainly do that. So if you have a very rounded brow and you want to give yourself an arch, you can do that. You just need the right tool and the right color to work with. All right, so I'm thickening that up a touch, and then I'm going to continue to fill in here. And the thing I love about this tool, I have even gotten it wet and made like little lines right here so they look like little hairs. So it really does make it look more natural. All right, like I said, you're going to want to keep, I'm just using like the excess of the shadow. And I didn't even really get this wet. I'm going to dip, like barely dip my brush in Brownie Points, which is really dark, not a color I would wear all over my brow, but to give a little bit more of that faded look. Ugh, keep getting the spoolie stuck in my hair. I am going to darken up the tail. Just a little bit. You saw I just did like a teeny little dip, and I'm going to bring that up a little bit. All right, now I'm going to take my spoolie, which has my hair in it. Okay. And I'm just going to brush that out a little bit, and I'm going to shape my brow. Hello, brow! Can you see that facelift? You guys, brows are life. Brows are everything. If you have blonde hair, then you probably can't even see your brows. You might have a ton of hair, but you can't even see them. Brows frame your face. They lift your eye up. They lift your whole face up. I cannot believe that I waited for as long as I waited to start doing my brows. But I didn't know. And once I tried it, I was like obsessed, addicted. Call it whatever you want. I will not go without brows. They completely complete your look. They make you look just polished. Like, look at this side. I'm not saying this side looks horrible, okay? I'm not saying bad things about myself, but look at this side. Look at this side. Woo! I got a brow going on over here, you guys. Try doing your brows. I'm telling you, it makes such a humongous difference. And it will be a little bit of a shocker at first. Whenever I do somebody's brows for the first time, they're always like, whoa. And then they look at them, and they look at them, and they look at them, and they're like, wow, that really does make a difference. So if you need any help with brow tips or finding the perfect shade of shadow or pigments that we can use anywhere on our face, let me know. The last thing that I would do for this, because I am using a shadow, I would take, and I do take, my 10 Years Younger finishing spray. I spray it on my spoolie, the spoolie end, and I just like kind of pat that on. I also could spray my face, but I'm not going to do that because I already have all the rest of my makeup on and I've already sprayed my face and I've got my mascara on, all that good stuff. So I want them to stay in place. So I love our 10 Years Younger setting spray. That will help keep them in place. So the power of the brow is a real thing. Take a look. It makes a huge difference. It makes you look younger. It makes you look lifted. It frames your face. It changes your eyes. It really highlights your eyes. Ladies, try brows. I am telling you. They only take a little bit of practice and they make a humongous difference. So that's what I got for you on my day 10 when I was feeling a little bit like, oh gosh, I gotta do another day because I made a commitment. And then I thought, all right, I need to talk about something that excites me, and brows excite me. So you guys, thank you so much for joining. I so appreciate you. I hope you have a fabulous Thursday evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great night.